Yo, what's good everybody? Cheesy TV back with another video, and today we are going to be talking about the 6th episode of Season 4 of Breaking Bad, Cornered. This is going to be very interesting. This is one of my favorite TV series I've ever seen of all time, and we still have a good 23 episodes left in this thing. So yeah, we still have quite the journey to go. Um, I'm going to go through the plot. I'm going to give you guys the critical reception, kind of what I think mixed in with that. I can find some common ground with a lot of critics out there. So, yeah, we start the episode. Another Los Pollos Hermanos truck is raided by the cartel. So we're really getting a look into these drug delivery procedures by Los Pollos Hermanos throughout the show. This time, the two guards in the truck are killed, and the cartel members find the tubs with blue meth. So despite uh, on one hand, Mike handles the situation. He kills the cartel. On the other hand, they get fully raided. They get shit on. The guards get killed. The driver gets killed. And yeah, they steal. Skyler is worried about Walt, suspecting that he is in danger due to the death of Gale. So, she knows that he didn't kill Gale, but the fact that he is in connection with someone that probably killed Gale, Gus is probably going to want to go after him. The cartel could go after him. She doesn't know. She doesn't know the full details, and for now, she is very, very worried. Should she be worried for Walt? Maybe a little bit. Yeah, it definitely is warranted, realistically. He did order Jesse to go to the address and kill the guy. But, Walt did some mental manipulation with Gus and them, and he is good with them right now. It's not looking that bad here. Walt reacts angrily with a speech claiming that he is the danger, prompting Skyler to flee the house. One of the most badass speeches in the history of Walter White in the show. Oh my god, it was so fucking awesome hearing him say this. He is the danger. Gave me chills. It was absolutely fantastic. Just cold-blooded shit. Giving her the blunt truth. I love it. I am the danger. That is probably one of my favorite quotes from the TV show so far. She ponders escaping in Colorado at the Four Corners Monument, but ultimately reconsiders. So she's flipping a coin, the 4 lines of the state border. She's like, I'm going to flip a coin. Wherever it lands, I'm going to be moving there. And it starts with Colorado, but she's like, no, I got to stay with Walt. We have this car wash. We have this whole thing going on. I got to kind of stay dedicated to that cause. So she decides to stay in New Mexico. Walt receives the keys to the car wash from Bogdan Woolinet, so they officially own it. They're officially going to be able to open it and control it. And everyone avenges his past insults by making Bogdan leave behind his framed first-earned dollar, which Walter uses to buy a soda. Look, Walter White is really starting to morph into this Heisenberg character. And by the way, spoiler alert, I don't need to say that at the beginning of every episode, but I'm kind of just now thinking about people that are watching the show kind of along with me and aren't where I'm at. Do not watch these videos until you watch those episodes, because I am pumping out these reviews. Like, I'm getting these episodes watched. But I love what Walter's doing. He's, Bogdan treated him like shit in the past. Obviously he was his boss, but still, he treated him like a little bitch, like a little slave around that place. And Walt's getting his vengeance, takes his first dollar, spends it on the soda. A lot of bad blood. It is, he's not causing any problems, but he's subtly just becoming a villain in this show. I like it though. Normally you wouldn't like the villain in the show, but I'm actually liking this character out of Walt. Later, Walt gives into Walter Jr.'s pleas for a new car and buys him a Dodge Challenger. So he is just continuing to break character over and over, and it's just starting to stack up. And it might stack up against him, it might not. Walter meets Jesse at the lab, and after they're finished cooking, Jesse gets called away, which makes Walter angry. He's like, man, I need my partner. That's why I called him on the job. You guys are taking him away for these pickups with Mike. It's not boding well with him at all. Walter then bribes 3 laundry workers into helping him clean the lab. He's like, look, this is normally a 2-man job. I need other people to do this. And obviously, Gus and them aren't all aware that this is going down. Afterwards, Tyrus shows up and tells Walter he is sending the workers back to Honduras. This is not an outlet he can use anymore to get his dirty work done. They're going back to Honduras. It's really funny, Walter trying to speak Spanish to them. I think it's funny. Walter tells him that if Gus is to blame anyone, blame him. Tyrus says he does blame you. He is against you. You should probably be aware of that by now. You are pushing every last button of Gus's on Gus's machine, his metaphorical machine. You are doing it. He doesn't like you. Tyrus is letting him know up front. Gus is really not a fan of what you're doing right now. It's not tearing down the business or anything, but it's just breaking a trustful relationship that once was. A very potentially long-term business partnership is like going downhill between those two. So, Jesus and Mike. Did I say Jesus? Jesse and Mike scout a house selling the blue meth from the hijacked truck, but Jesse grows impatient and tricks one of the meth users into letting him into the house, where he knocks out the other. So, Jesse is really showing his worth with the company, with these pickups. I really like him taking a stand for himself and proving himself. He's not an all the way worthless character, and the core audience of Breaking Bad knows this. They know that Jesse is here he serves a purpose. Like, he's very street smart. He knows what he's doing. He makes some pretty bad decisions, don't get me wrong, throughout the show, but he really shows that he is worth something for a big company in the meth business, probably the biggest company in the area. Like, this is a drug empire. This is some Escobar shit right here, but it's done professionally, of course. Mike notices the words "Estás listos para platicar" written on the stolen container, translating to "Are you ready to talk?" So this is cluing him in on some stuff that these meth heads are indulging in. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Gus meets with Mike at a diner that night and decides to try to negotiate with the cartel. So they're going to take it to the cartel. They're like, look, you got to stop stealing from us. We're more than willing to kind of work as a business, and this will probably develop in the later episodes here, them talking with the cartel. Outside of the diner, Jesse asks Gus, why me, in reference to him being asked to help Mike during the previous several days. Jesse can get stuff done. He can execute some tasks for Gus, but he doesn't want to. Like, he makes it very clear that Jesse does not want to do these tasks, and I think that is what this whole scene right here is a picture of. I could be wrong. Gus responds by saying, I like to think I see things in people, and he has faith. He has trust in Jesse, and this is a really good news for Jesse, even though Jesse doesn't really like this job and all, this new side hustle he has with the company, this new gig he's running, but he has Gus's trust, and that's a hard thing to do. He's a very careful businessman, as shown in the beginning of us being introduced to his character, but it's good. It's a good thing, but Jesse might not see that, but this episode's pretty good. It's an extraordinary episode, honestly, from top to bottom. I mean, not a lot of action, but a lot of badass scenes. A lot of memorable things are happening in this episode that aren't gonna be soon forgotten. I mean, crazy stuff. The episode was one of the best of Season 4, I would say. I mean, we've had some slow episodes in Season 4, and this is very refreshing to get some story development and some plot. We're starting to lead into things. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's like compared relative to other episodes in this series. I would say it's a good episode. It is like in the better half of the Breaking Bad episodes I've seen anyway. You may not think that when you first see the episode. You might not think anything special of it. I just like the shit that's developing. Like Mike and Gus going to the cartel. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna happen until like the finale, and they might have Jesse negotiate with them, because Jesse speaks a lot of these drug dealers' language. He made it known to Mike. He's like, look, I've dealt with crackheads, I've dealt with meth heads, I know their language, I know their desires, I know their body language, I know everything. Like, I know when they want to do something, I know how to manipulate them, I know their vices. Like, he just knows everything about, like, the typical meth head, and that's going to help them. They have, like, an inside eye on the whole thing and their customers. It's a good thing. It's like, yeah, it's like some customer insight from a guy that works for the company. That's always good in business. They're probably going to have Jesse do their dirty work. I don't think Gus is going to hand in hand or face to face go up to a cartel guy and be like, hey, do you want to work with us? We can give you guys a pretty big cut. You've been stealing from us, so obviously you want our product. And, obviously Skyler's getting worried for Walt. They're starting to see even more rifts in their relationship than seen before. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see kind of how that plays out. You know, it's definitely going to be interesting.